Thanks for staying with us. So, when you're sick, where do you go? When you feel that you're not well, you go to Nigeria's General Hospital. Well, guess what? Our president, Muhammadu Buhari, isn't feeling very well, and according to reports, today we'll be proceeding to the United Kingdom for a routine medical checkup for 2 weeks. It is well. So, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this. We've discussed this several times before because it's not the first time our president is traveling. He's traveled quite a few times. And we just thought it's important to keep reminding ourselves that are there citizens and lesser citizens? Are there those who deserve to go to the UK for checkup, and those of us who have to go and queue at general hospitals? And what are your thoughts on this narrative that we've been running for years upon years, and the fact that nothing seems to be done to change it? And we're not going to stop talking about it because the irony of it is what is quite disturbing. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this before we open our phone lines. Yes.
The citizens and citizens. The truth is, they've been kidnapping people since, but the first attempt on Otom's life, the IG put up a team that they were combing the forest in Benue State to find the people that attempted the governor's life. So citizen past citizen.
Yes. Let me even add to that a bit, because somebody was trying to defend, somebody told me that they are citizens and they are citizens. And when I was trying to get him to explain to me what he meant, he said, Morale, in the US, one citizen, if something happens to you in one Kafanshan, they will send all the apparatus of the US government to save your life, to protect you, because you are a citizen. The medical facility is available for you. Every single thing, the social amenities are available for you because you're a citizen. But in Nigeria, if anything happens to you, you're on your own because you are not a citizen. However, the citizen, who is the governor or the president, the apparatus of the government, the apparatus will be used to protect that person because it's an important VIP. That is the citizen. You and I, we are the masses.
We are going. So in Nigeria, you see the V's are not equal.
No, it's the V's that
citizenship. Citizenship is not equal. They are all men are not born equally. And who we are and the impact of one loss of life is not the same. You lose the president, you have a vice president, become the president immediately. So you lose the vice president and the president together, you have the Senate president. Because, so if we lose the average person on the street, the impact is not much. It's only the family that will not have income. But one person, so the citizenship.
No, let me add to that. You see these V's are what is killing us. So this morning the headline was that they will play match for Teslim Balogun. And so only the people that have sticker of VIP or can pass downstairs. Every other person a row upstairs. So sometimes it's painful. I'm not laughing.
But the truth is that...
But that's the distinction that is killing us. So if you are a citizen and your family just try to be in the elites, or they just know somebody there, and you go and lose, you are a valuable something.
Yes.
So it's those kind of people that, they will pick money for. But if you are just saying nobody, they go and pick you, you better start begging. I don't know nobody. Check my phone.
But let's get serious. This is
let me get to business thoughts on this. Because,
I've always said it here, that till our leaders begin to feel the pulse of the people, till they begin to experience exactly what we experience, it will seem like they are not sensitive of what is happening because it's not pinching them. They are not there. They do not queue at the general hospital. They do not go with ailments and they are giving, come back 2 months, come back 3 months because there's no space to be attended to. We have yesterday, I took this story, National Association of Resident Doctors are about to go on an indefinite strike on Thursday. Yeah. And then the president is traveling today. So is it that he's not aware that something is going to happen? So he will go and take his treatment. But those other people, the masses, like you called it, will be left stranded because they have not done what they are supposed to do. So is it that we should just... See, the thing is, you see why some people will say, anyhow, I have to make money. Because the truth is, you are one sickness away from poverty. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. Till our leader, I've said this here, if we really want a change, we need to ensure, as the electorates, that that political office is no longer lucrative. If you want to serve, go there and serve.
Simple.
Without the plenty perks of office. After serving, go back to your job. You must have a job, you must have a profession, you must have a career that you fall back to after your year expires.
This even reminds me of the Nigerian citizens. Many are saying that they're not going to take the vaccine because they want to travel to go. They feel more comfortable
going to
Dubai, in the UK, to country, because they're not just, we masses are the ones taking in the healthcare centers. They, the chosen few, would rather go abroad because they have those options. So the reality is, are we on our own? If the government is actually working on these social amenities, what are the timelines we're giving to them? Because the fact that they're still allowed to travel outside from medical to education. These are the key factors: education, healthcare, infrastructure. You're going outside the country for education. How in the world would you understand and improve the ones here in Nigeria?
Mariah, so for me, I think that we've said it as like I'm tired.
No, we keep saying it.
And yes, we mustn't get tired. So we've been here. The president has gone several times. I can even understand. Our president is old, obviously, and he's already had his medical history with these doctors. They probably have been treating him since forever. However, as a grandfather, and I look, and I've said this several times, that our president is old enough to be my grandfather, so I would in no way disrespect him. I don't want him to die. I want him to continue to enjoy his life. This is his latter years. But what is he doing? Because the reason I campaigned for him in the first term, I didn't campaign in the second term for him because he disappointed me in the first term. And I didn't campaign second term. And I campaigned for him in the first term because I felt like he would be hungry to leave a legacy. Even if the legacy is that I came in, there were no hospitals, now we have good hospitals. But our president seemed to not understand the situation on ground. Just last month, my friend would have lost her younger sister, who is a sickler, because she had a crisis, went to the Lasut General Hospital. Obviously, Lut was not a place to go. She went to Lagos State Teaching Hospital, and they said they didn't have any place for her to be treated, that she needed to go to a private ward, and that she needed to deposit 750,000 naira. This is a young lady whose dad has died already, whose mom is not in the States. So she had a younger sister, both of them less than 30, looking for how they were going to raise 750,000 naira, and that girl would have died. They didn't treat her. There was no vein, there was nothing. She was not even responding. This is how we lose potential. That person could have been the next person that will build the next Flutter Wave. We will not be celebrating the tech industry and how much they brought in, but we did not provide them opportunity to live. We didn't let them live. Many people would have dying every day, would have survived if they had access to medical care. So presidency, I don't mind if you are going to UK for your medical treatment, but what is the quality of treatment that the rest of us have access to within this country?
No, I mind.
No. He's already getting treated there. We cannot change it.
No, he should mind. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to ask him that, it's the same doctors. Nigerians are leading everywhere in the world. One of our greatest exports is medical doctors. Apart from Burna Boy, their group.
Yes.
Our major export is medical doctors. Just graduate here.
In fact, let me make you laugh. I have two pediatricians I call every time whenever I have any. One of them, I called him yesterday, and it sounded like a UK, like I go to relocate. That's all. Just like saying, okay, auntie, I'm in Canada, and I'm like, hey, uncle, you have gone to Canada.
That's all. So when they cross, you don't trust them here because light's not there. Yeah. Hospital facility not too good like that, and oxygen can finish. But once you cross border, it's the same Nigeria.
Yeah, so the same brain.
But you trust doctor. One of my family, my mother's family is a neurosurgeon in this country. Professor of neurosurgery. I know the major number of politicians that Professor Danesi is their private doctors, but it's abroad. So I just want to reel out what the National Association of Resident Doctors wants. Simple. I want to see whether it's big thing. So they want upward review of current hazard allowance to 50% of consolidated basic salaries of all health workers, and payment of their outstanding COVID-19 inducement allowance, especially in state-owned tertiary institutions. And they're asking again, payment of death in service insurance for all health workers who died as a result of COVID-19 infections or other infectious diseases across the country. I just want to know whether it is big.
Any of these things.
Because if Governor Wike can vex and say, oh, love you, yeah.
10 million.
10 million. How many guns our National Association of Residents does? How many they should multiply themselves. If we talk about this insurance money, can't somebody just vex from one state allocation, not even waiting for the insurance company and invest and give them? So yeah, you people go and work and motivate them. Because we are talking now, our president had an emergency that almost made it reasonable for us to allow him to go to the UK for treatment. Since that time that he have gone and come back.
This one is a medical checkup. He's just going to go and check. Am I okay?
Now, I'm talking about the one that was serious. That one that, you know, the planes, everything. And even they had to, because now when the president is traveling, we don't have a vice president he can hand over to. Our constitution just sort of press pause. No. Let me finish. Let me finish. In the other time, he finally did have to hand over and write a letter to the National Assembly that I'm going, and Professor Oshibajo takes over. I am waiting to see democracy. The way I studied it when I was doing constitutional law, and we're doing grand inside class, where you will give hand over to your vice president, and the office of the vice president is active. But this one, I'm just growing up in Nigeria and doing like this. I can't even give my children examples and say this is why it's working like this. The conversations are no longer interesting.
There was a professor from Harvard that was saying that, in his own view, because the conversation is that, is democracy even working in Africa? But based on the research he came with, he said, listen, it's still the best option. That he was using, I think, Mozambique and I think one other countries where it's still very, that democracy is still the way to go if we practice it right and ensure there's equity across the various
deputy we are trying you now. Sorry? You are going on leave, but you are afraid that they will not see my deputy. Maybe if I come back, that deputy will just take over my office.
The last one that you did,
you to go on leave.
Yes, that you sacked.
That was the end.
That was it now.
You should go on leave.
Let's go on a break. I don't even know if we can continue this
I've not landed my point. All these ones are just
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can continue or then bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this issue of our president, our citizen president, traveling abroad for medical checkup. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Please call us on 081-270-538-687 and 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Yes.
Let me just clarify. I didn't say we don't have a vice president. We do have a vice president. I'm saying the office needs to be activated. The president can go as much as he wants, but immediately he's not in the country. Our constitution provided an elected office, not an appointment. I keep emphasizing that elected, we Nigerians are provided who will hand over to, not a chief of staff, not a kitchen cabinet.
I remember his wife recently just went for medical,
she just arrived
in Dubai for 6 whole months.
So
she's back now.
So that's why it was
she went for 6 months.
Yeah, and then decided to stay back for other reasons.
So that's why it was paining me that if the president had the scare that he had in that time in 2015, and then you now come back, and we did not see changes in across all medical facility across the country. And you remember our medical facilities also suffered the NSAS. They went into some hospitals and vandalized. How much?
There was COVID.
Now we talk
why we should have jumped.
The doctors are on strike for COVID.
The president's son also had a medical crisis and he was flown abroad.
No, I think they treated him here.
It was an accident. No, he was
convalescent. Germany. No.
Yes, so
there were two. Nima, there were two. There was one that he went to Germany.
He took
a
treatment in Germany. Imagine on the bike accident.
Yes, that one was Germany. Then the second one.
When he now came back,
the point is,
our hospitals cannot retreat emergency of bike accidents.
Obviously, our hospitals are not good enough for our political office holders. Our hospitals are not good enough for them to risk. For them, it's a risk to their life to be treated in Nigeria. When we have a few people, not up to 1 million, not up to 100,000, not up to 10,000, not up to 1,000 people who are controlling our resources, who use our resources to keep their life at the expense of the millions of other people in this country.
Let me take this call from Tubosun in UK. Are you there, Tubosun?
Hi, hello, Morayo. Long time.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, long time. I just want to contribute to, when you guys are talking about this morning, regarding the president getting treatment in United Kingdom. I used to think that, maybe president or any people in government shouldn't be going out of the country to get treatment. So, but if we look at it the other way around, I think we look at it in the way of, human rights. Yeah, everybody have right to life. So, I think if any person, regardless whether you are president or you are just ordinary citizen, at least everybody have right to go and get treatment, where you think is best for you. Right. But on the other way, I understand that the healthcare system in Nigeria is not that very good. And I think government need to work on that. And besides, let's say President Buhari is in Nigeria. For example, there are some hospitals in Nigeria that even ordinary people cannot afford. So I think these are the things. Even if there are some hospitals in Lagos that I don't think Nigerians can afford too. Yes, so despite that hospital is in Lagos, many Nigerians cannot afford it. Right.
Thank you very much, Tuboso. So he has a right.
He has a right if the systems are working. If there's a healthcare insurance plan for the average citizen to walk into the hospital without thinking of what to sell to be able to pay the hospital bill. We have people who lose their children because of simple malaria. They cannot afford to treat their children of malaria, and the kids die. We have all of those. Now, if the systems are working, what is patriotism? Patriotism is that you patronize your own business. Is that
the expense of your life?
No. If your systems are working,
why is your life? Why is your life the
that the American president went to China for treatment? How many times? Patriotism shows you are a citizen. Hold on. Shows you are a citizen of the country. Yeah. You want your country to be better, and you use your own thing. We are saying it's the rights that we are making here.
Okay.
We're the clothes that we are making here. The rights now that we are saying we should be. Do you know that our president? I don't know how they cook, but I know that it's basmati rice that they are eating. I can tell you that is that rice that they are eating.
You don't know.
But you tell the common man, use your own thing. So let us go back. Not doing the same. So let us go back. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So see, Morayo, give us a good welfare,
yes, I mean,
a good healthcare system.
I get the point.
If you now say you want to travel outside, nobody will be looking at you, even though you are not supposed to, because you're supposed to represent your own people and be patriotic.
Okay, fine. I want us to stay on the point in a minute. Now, somebody is saying that as a person, you have a right to school abroad because you can afford it.
Yes.
You have a right to go and get medical checkup abroad because you can afford it.
Yes.
You are a citizen. Yes. You have a right. Yes. That's what Tuboso is saying, that why are we criticizing our president? I'll come to talk now. Okay. Why are we criticizing our president for going abroad if it's his personal funds?
No. So that's the thing we're qualifying. What I said earlier was that it is very, very wrong, and it is injustice for less than 1,000 of the population of Nigeria to spend the resources of millions to live a comfortable life. And then the rest are left to hustle. The medical bill, the average politician has a medical, they have a medical budget. They have a budget for medical bill. Abroad, even our judges had to fight for them to have a medical checkup allowance abroad written there. So they have access to forex that is not available for businesses to survive, is given to political class to go abroad.
That's for our money now.
For me, that is mismanagement of our resources.
Let me take this call from the UK. Good morning, are you there? Hello,
from
Eddie.
The UK that they are going to go and
Hello?
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. You're live. Yeah. Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you people. I always try to listen to you every morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. My contribution is that my doctor here is a medical doctor. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Yes, my doctor is a medical doctor here in UK. We have very good qualified Nigerians that can treat anybody at home. Nigerian doctors. My own doctor is a medical doctor. All we need is to equip our medical facilities. All this time of including our doctors. Our doctors are doing very well in the UK. Hello, are you hearing me?
Very difficult to hear you, Mr.
He's
Sir.
talking about, he says his daughter is a medical doctor there abroad. And he has many of them like that. All we need to is to equip our own, and Nigerian doctors are doing.
Even Nigerians who are doctors abroad have come home to set up. Many of them are frustrated.
Yeah,
There's no
power.
I wanted to answer the person that said you have freedom if you can afford it. The question is if you can afford it, not based on taxpayers' money.
Thank you.
You know that means I can afford it, but they are removing it from my salary, and I cannot now afford it because they've taken it. They've taken it up so everybody's own, and you cannot afford it because we have placed you on a particular level of your excellency. So my problem with Nigerian political class and leaders is that there's this obvious disconnect between them and the people they are claiming to lead. When the president came in, there was I remember that time we used to call it body language thing. He even voiced the language that nobody in this government will be using anything abroad. He reduced travels, and then he had an emergency. They say this one was scary because between January to March, at least it was a long time. He came back, he still went back. Okay, we agree, said that one was an exception. But what happened? What did you learn from that incident? I would have expected change, but it didn't happen. So this obvious disconnect is also in his government, and whoever is coming, we must find the connection.
What is the way forward?
If your child graduated, some of them have 2, 3. If one child graduated, I don't talk of all the children, are not fit to be a president in this country.
Let me just say this.
Of course, you will ruin our education system, and so that's our medical system.
In terms of way forward, one of the key things that we need to work on, we've already said it, everybody should use medical facilities in Nigeria. That's just one of. The second is, taxpayers' money should not fund exorbitant lifestyle that the average Nigerian cannot afford across board. Our money should not fund it. So if you want to do it, it must be based on your basic salary, your personal pay, your business money.
And even though our House of Assemblies should adjust the rule books that gives you this largesse to share. Because they give they have these benefits that the governors, deputy governors, and all the other officials get just because of the laws we have in the National Assembly.
But the truth is, the National Assembly will not adjust what will bite them. It's about selfishness. I really do not know the sort of what will happen, because we need a different body to, recreate and amend the Constitution to favor the common man, to favor Nigerians. So once you're a Nigerian citizen, there are certain things that should come to you.
See, based on that you just said now, reminding our Nigerians again how important the roles of the lawmakers are. So who are voting into the House of Assembly and the National Assembly, we must open our eyes.
Yes, so I'm sure that they will not go there and change.
Not just focus on president and governor. It is the lawmakers that are almost like the most important people right now. We must be sure who they are bringing into office next time. That's all we can take. When we come back, we'll continue another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So to wrap up on our conversation earlier, we're going to read some tweets and then take Dr. Femi Oguremi, who was a doctor in the United Kingdom and is back here in Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
I'm here. Thank you.
Good morning. To have you on the show. I know you've been hearing our conversation and hearing what we were talking about earlier. Could you just share with us quickly your experience working in the UK, coming back to Nigeria, and why you think it's so difficult for Nigeria to begin to fix our medical system here?
Okay, so thank you for having me. I think when we look at the situation in Nigeria, comparing it to what happens in the UK, I think we have to look at the health system that we operate. I think that's the first place to start. The system is made up of so many things, and those things are like ingredients that will then determine the result we get. In the UK, things are well structured. If I see a patient, for instance, in the UK, and I leave this patient, I know that I can reasonably go home and sleep. I know that the next person that is going to see this patient, I trust their judgment. And so, but if I come to Nigeria, if I see somebody, I will still have my own concern about what's going to happen to this patient next. And that's where we look at the trust that we have in the system that we operate. So when there's no trust, you can't rely on things, and that leads to you looking for alternatives. So the system in Nigeria where I'm not pointing an accusing finger at anyone in terms of maybe a profession or people who are delivering care. It's just that the system is a bit chaotic, and we're not getting the results that we actually need that can, that can help us. If I go to the hospital, I'm expecting, to be taken care of, and in the end, I want a result whereby I get well. But if I don't trust any part of the system to deliver that, then it becomes a major issue.
Okay, all right, sir. Let me ask you, who's responsible for creating a system that can be trusted? Whose responsibility is it? Is it the doctors, the nurses, the citizens, the government? Whose responsibility? Because we want a solution to our problems now.
Yes. You see, the truth is very hard. And if we do not say the truth, we don't get to the root of the problem. I won't say it's the doctor, the nurses, or the pharmacists, or whatever. I think it's the governance that will run. Leadership, especially the leadership of our healthcare, service. The leader is the one that has a vision. When we have no vision, we will lose it. If there's no vision, there's no direction. And the problem we have in Nigeria is our leaders, as harsh as it may sound, I think in majority of situations, we don't have a vision. We're just running in the jungle. And I think it's the bedrock of the problem we have. Let me cite an example. There is an hospital here in Lagos State that I think about 4 years ago, the leader of that hospital decided he was going to change this hospital from where it was to somewhere. He invited me. I went to that hospital. I remember my very first time. It's Federal Medical Center, Butemeta. It was the MD there when he was appointed. He called me and said, I want to turn this hospital to be like the hospital, your hospital in the UK. And then I said, okay, it's all boiled down in the vision of the leader. That's your vision. Let's work it. And then today, if you go to FMC, Butemeta, I was part of the team that initiated the change in that hospital, to support his vision. I renovated the very first unit in that hospital. And that, if you go to that hospital now, you think you're in the UK. I was proud when I went there about 2 weeks ago, and you see it. So what I'm trying to say is, when they have the vision to change things, you understand, then things will happen.
Yeah. Right.
So the final box lies on the desk of our leaders.
Thank you very much, Dr. Guremi. Unfortunately, we still have to bring you back at some point to help us discuss this issue further, but we have to move on right now this time. Thank you very much, Dr. Guremi, for joining us on a short notice.